What is going on, guys? A lot of people have been wondering what's going on for set 4 for Teamfight Tactics. Set 3.5 is coming to an end, which means we'll see completely new champions, completely new trades, completely new maps. And people have also been wondering, when is the public beta environment going to be available for set 4? So we're going to get into all of that right now. I'm BunnyMuffins. I make a bunch of guides and content for Teamfight Tactics. I have a tier list that's updated every week, and I plan to continue to do this throughout all of set 4. So with that in mind, let's get right into this. So a little fun thing that was released is that the amount of champions that Riot likes to have in the game is 58. I'm not really too sure how they came to that number, but that is what's going to be in the next set. So this is different than what they've done before, where they release a set and then add 1 or 2 champions throughout the set. So they're not going to be doing that anymore. It seems like they're going to have 58 champions, do the mid-set update, and swap out a bunch of them, and pretty much go from there. So the new set will be released on patch 10.19, which is September 16th, and this set will last till around early January, where they'll do the mid-set update, take out a couple trades, add a couple new ones, same thing they did in set 3, and this set will last until April's, where we'll have the set for championships. With that in mind, the public beta environment should be out on September 2nd, which is the date of the patch 10.18 patch. So last week, Riot did a little teaser on what's to come, and they leaked a couple of the traits that are going to be around. So the ones that they leaked are dragons, magic, spirits, and storms. As we can see from the preview here, there might be a little couple of spoilers as well. So we see the dragons mentioned before. There might be something to deal with shadows. There might be something with divines, tormented, phantoms, and fortunes. So, and lastly, there is something to be known about Chosen, which was leaked today, which we'll get into in just a second. So here they give out information on what some of the champions are. They reveal 17 of them. So we'll be going over all of them right now. And the Chosen mechanic, it's going to be a little different than what we've ever seen before. Have you guys ever played Pokemon before, where you're looking for a certain Pokemon with a certain inherited value, which is IV? I'm not too sure if people got too serious into Pokemon, but one of my friends is really into it, so that's how I know this stuff. Essentially, what a Chosen unit is, it's a 2-star of a unit that shows up in your shop, and they have added bonuses to them. So first of all, since they're a 2-star unit, they cost 3 times as much as they would normally cost, since you normally have to buy 3 units to get an upgraded unit. And one of the cool things about this is that one of their traits, origin or their class, is Chosen and counts as 2 of that traits. So we have the Garen, he's a Vanguard, and Vanguard is a Chosen trait. You can only have one of them that is Chosen, and that is decided randomly. So essentially, if you put a Garen out, you already have a 2 Vanguard bonus. You don't need an extra one to put in, so it's much easier to hit these trait thresholds. Another cool thing is that they all get 200 bonus health, and they either get 500 more health, 35% spell power, 50 AD, or 25% reduced mana. So just off of first glance, I know that these are subject to change. The most important one might either be like the 25% mana cost or one of these damage amplifications, because the health doesn't really mean too much. Have you ever put like an extra belt on one of your units, or like a couple extra belts? They don't really do too much, but like reduced mana cost, pretty much every champion is built off of their ability. So that's why I think the mana cost is probably the most important, and I'm not really too sure how to balance all of these, because there is some sort of balancing point, because maybe like 1,000 health is equal to maybe like a 15% reduced mana cost. I'm not really sure how they're going to do this, but just something to keep in mind in the future. But obviously, if you were to get the health trait, you might want it on one of your tanks. If you get the attack damage trait, you might want it on one of your attack damage carries. So there's a bit of RNG involved, but a lot of people think that this mechanic isn't that balanced. I kind of think the opposite, because it's kind of like hitting a legendary on level 7, which is a 1% rate. You're probably not going to get the unit that you want, and even if you do, you might not even get the right Chosen trait on him. So I don't think it's going to be that damaging to the RNG portion of the game. One of the most important characteristics of Chosen champions is that you can only have 1 on your team at a time. So if you buy a Chosen champion, you won't see another one until you sell it. So essentially, if you buy a Chosen champion, you have to win streak, or maybe you pass on the Chosen champion, try to get a better one or one with different traits, and roll with that in the future. But yeah, a lot of people say it's going to be completely unbalanced and whoever gets luckier is going to win. But again, it's similar to like the 1% legendary at level 7. It helps a lot, don't get me wrong. Sometimes it's even game breaking, but in the case of the Chosen trait, I think it's going to be really rare to see that scenario happen. just because you need the right trait and the stat bonus. Though obviously it's still going to be really strong, don't get me wrong. It's going to be a big boost for anyone, but like anyone can get it, so it is equal opportunity for all. Next up, let's get into some of the traits. Warlord is one of the new ones that's introduced, and Warlords kind of have an interesting mechanic because it's not really explored too much with so far. Pretty much if you win a fight with a certain unit, you gain a stat bonus for the rest of the game on that unit. The only time we've seen this mechanic before was in set 2 Elements, where they had the mountain tile where you get a permanent health boost that lasts on that unit for the rest of the game. So Warlords have an additional 150 health and additional 10 spell power or ability power at 3 Warlords, and again, this stacks up to 5 times, so if you add these two together, at 3 Warlord you could have potentially 300 health and 25 additional spell power. When you get to 9 Warlords, I don't think that's going to happen too often. Maybe with some spatula items it could work, but you'll have a bonus 1000 health and 100 spell power, which is going to be a pretty big boost if you ask me. But keep in mind, you get no other bonuses from this trait, so there is a little bit of a balance to it. This kind of reminds me of Cybernetics, because Cybernetics buff the health and attack damage of each unit, but this one buffs the health and spell power, and it's got a little different way of triggering that ability. So taking a look at the units, we have Nidalee as a 1-cost unit, and she is a Warlord Sharpshooter, Garen as a Warlord Vanguard, and then the 2-cost Jarvan as a Warlord Keeper, and then we actually see the return of Pike and the Assassin trait. So Pike is a Cultist Assassin. He's not part of the Warlord team, but I think they just had a sample composition out here. And then Katarina is a Warlord Assassin. I'm really glad they brought Katarina back. From the looks of it, it's going to be like the set 1 Katarina, because that's probably her most interesting ability. So as we can see from the text down here, giving her the 2 assassin bonus allows her spells to crit, so you don't need a jewel gauntlet for her to crit. Maybe they're removing the item, we'll have to wait and see. That's going to be an interesting change to the assassin or infiltrator buff that we've been seeing in the past. Kennen is a ninja and keeper. I'm so excited that they brought ninja back. I thought that was the coolest mechanic or coolest trait in set 1, because it's such a big weakness to have more than one ninja, but then once you get 4 of them, you get this huge power spike. It was super fun, and like, I know it could get frustrating at times when you couldn't find the last ninja, but overall I really like that trait, so I'm really glad that they brought it back. The last unit that they revealed here is Xinjiao, which is a 3-cost Warlord Duelist. I wonder what duelists do. We should, I guess we have to wait and see, because they're not gonna reveal that right now. Moonlight is the next trait, so this trait reminds me most of the Woodlands from set 2, but let's read into why I think that. So Moonlight is a 3-person trait, and all of the champions are either 1-cost or 2-cost units. So that means, like, again, with the Woodland buffs, they were all 1-cost and 2-cost units, so they're definitely early game oriented. However, once this trait is active, your lowest star level unit is increased by 1 level. So if you have like 3 Moonlight units and 2 of them are 2-star, the 1-star unit will now be a 2-star. If you have 3 2-stars, one of them will be a 3-star. And then they have this little extra thing where if you have 3 3-stars, one of them gets upgraded into a 4-star. And this is something that we actually haven't seen before, so I am excited to look into that. Apparently, it's not going to be as strong as a 4-cost 3-star, but they're going to probably be like something like a 3-cost 3-star, which is what I'd assume. But going down to the next units, we have Diana, who's a Moonlight Assassin, Lissandra, who's a Moonlight Dazzler. Oh no, Lissandra's a 1-cost. I was really excited about Lissandra being back in the game, but I think they're going to change her ability to something else. I hope they don't. We'll see. Her old ability in set 1 was pretty much making herself invulnerable or hitting an enemy, depending on her health. I thought that was really cool. I wonder what they're going to go with now. It might just be her like throw ice shard thing. Since she's a 1-cost unit, so it's kind of similar to like a Twisted Fate that we have in set 3. Garen is a 1-cost Warlord Vanguard, we already went over that. Silas is a 2-cost Moonlight Brawler. Vi is a 2-cost Warlord Brawler, and then we have Katarina again. So they're going to keep Brawlers, that's going to be pretty cool. I wonder what Vi's going to do, because we haven't seen her as a 2-cost unit yet. The only times we've seen her was as a 3-cost with her ultimate that goes across the whole map. Silas is a new addition to TFT. I don't think we've seen him before. I think he's the first champion that we've seen so far that we haven't seen yet. Oh, one thing I forgot to mention, Pike being reintroduced is pretty cool. He was probably one of the strongest champions of set 1. So we'll see if they found a way to balance him or make him weaker, because he's still a 2-cost unit, so he most likely has the same ability. Next up, we have Cultists. This one I think is the most interesting trait so far because it reminds me of Elementalist buff in set 1 and the mech buff in set 3, and I'll show you why. So Cultists have 8 champions, and they're gonna have a spatula item because you could reach up to 9. The trait doesn't actually do anything. You just summon a Galio. So let's get into the stats of this Galio. So you just play a bunch of units and then you summon this giant tank. So the strongest Galio has 7,000 health and 600 attack damage. And the weakest one has 1,800 health. And he has apparently a big AoE stun that can be the difference between winning and losing your next fight. But let's get into the champions. We have Elise, which is a 1-cost Cultist Keeper. We have Twisted Fate, another 1-cost unit. I wish they brought the old Twisted Fate back. I think his pick-a-card mechanic was unique to the game, and there's really no other ability in the game that could be like that. There's Pike again. We have Thresh, which is a 2-cost this time. Last time we saw Thresh as a 2-cost, he brought out his lantern, so I wonder what they're going to bring in this time. Evelyn is a 3-cost, and Evelyn was 3-cost before, and she did her ultimate that deals a bunch of damage based off of missing health and teleports backwards. So that one's likely the same, though one thing to note is that she's not an assassin anymore, she's a shade unit, so we'll see what that ends up meaning. Kalista is a 3-cost Cultist Duelist, and then Aatrox is a 4-cost this time. We've only seen him at 3-cost before, and he is a Cultist Vanguard. So I'm guessing they might introduce something like Aatrox's ultimate maybe instead of his big like damage slam, so we'll have to see what they decide to go with next. But yeah, that's it for now, guys. 17 champions out of the 58 have been revealed. We saw like maybe 6 or 7 of the trades had 3 of them explained. Vanguards and Brawlers were revealed, so it seems that Riot really likes those 2 tank classes. I wonder if Keeper's another tank class, so Elise, Jarvan, and Kennen were all Keepers, so we have to see what that does. But yeah, I'm pretty excited to see what else this set has to offer. Let me know what your favorite champion revealed so far is in the comments down below, and if you guys enjoyed this video, go ahead and hit the like button, hit the subscribe if you haven't already, and I'm pretty excited for the set 4 public beta environment, or PBE. Again, that's coming out on September 2nd, so definitely look out for that. I might play a few games there. I'm not sure if I want to play set 4 or set 3 because I don't really like playing PBE personally because I feel like the games aren't that competitive. But maybe I'll like joke around in there, do some fun stuff, but we'll see all that stuff in like a couple of weeks, I guess. But yeah, World's coming up in 2 weeks, so definitely want to watch that too. I'll definitely keep an eye on it as well. But yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to share and subscribe, and of course smash that like button. Each like is an LP I gain before the next video.